Yeah, finding clarity. So I had been roughly 10 years in a corporate organization and had climbed the ladder pretty significantly, and was at a crossroads in my career on taking the next steps. And I unfortunately hit a brick wall, and that is what led me to coaching and trying to better understand what I was experiencing and just to create some clarity, try to bring clarity into the situation in the midst of a storm. Yeah, I felt alone, very lonely at times. I felt like that I couldn't be related to a lot of the time. Whenever I was having conversations either with colleagues or even close friends who knew me, I found it really difficult for them to understand and kind of grasp what was occurring within my life at that time. Yeah, that's probably the clearest I can make it. It's lonely and confused. Yeah.
Was that loneliness not only felt at work but home because of the tension of, like, you don't want to share all your struggles going on at work and burden the family? Did you feel that same loneliness happening in both environments?
Absolutely. It was causing a rift between firstly between my marriage, in a sense that my burnout was starting to burn out my wife and our relationship, but then it began to even trickle down further than that and was even a rift between my relationship with my children. And at that point, whenever it had reached that, the crux of or the straw that had broken the camel's back, as unfortunate as it is, it very much translated into a very lonely, can't relate type of a feeling, Coming into it, I actually did not know what to expect. It was going to be my first time stepping into a coaching environment. I had friends and business colleagues, suggest that, perhaps a life coach would be beneficial or to have maybe a mentor in the space of walking through that season of life to try to bring clarity. So I came with a completely blank slate, if you will, of understanding what coaching would provide. But over time, as we got into sessions and we understood kind of what I know now is actually clarity, just allowing me to process what I was feeling in a safe environment was really important. Having not ever done this, having not ever, participated in professional coaching and that sort of thing, was a very key point for me to feel safe, comfortable, obviously with you, in order to be able to be authentic enough to come to terms with what was happening. And through that process, it allowed me to feel like I could be transparent. It allowed me to let down my guard, if you will, this professional guard that I had up, in order to create, an understanding and ultimately get to clarity, to be able to take next steps in my career. Self-awareness is the first, the number one thing that comes to mind. I had a good bit of self-awareness in the professional world prior to coaching. Had gone through a lot of executive training, was in leadership track programs, had gained an understanding of what that looked like, but I was not actively applying that to my life. And through coaching, it allowed me to resonate with what I was feeling, or at least understand what I was feeling, that it was okay to feel that way, and then that the feeling wouldn't last forever. That we would get there is a point on the other side itself. just having the ability to walk through that again in a safe environment in order to reach clarity, so I can feel confident into moving into the next stage, next season of life, was super important. And looking back, what I can now say, roughly a year out of coaching, if you will, what significantly changed has been my ability to be able to spot stress-inducing environmental inserts, and to be able to deal with those in a healthy way. I think that's where self-awareness has played a really key role in that part. I think having tools, practical tools, to know and understand, okay, what is causing the stress? That stress is then causing anxiety, and then there's a downhill effect from that. And being able to recognize that at the forefront, and to be able to put in place just actionable, practical skills that you were able to walk me through has been super important and pivotal for me in this past year, of just being able to continue on, take the next step in my journey, and feel confident, being able to identify and be successful. You're investing in yourself first and foremost when you move forward in a coaching environment. It's okay not to have all the answers, because quite frankly, you don't. And having that outsider pour into your life in a very practical but systematic way is important, especially at least for me in my experience in the time and the season that I was in. Would absolutely say come with an open mind, and as cliche as it is, trust the process, and to know that it's not a conference, if you will, one of those adrenaline shot type of environments that you're going to get pumped up and you're going to go and wreak havoc on the day. It's a relationship. It is a long-term commitment in order to get you to the other side, to get you into the next steps, the next stages of seasons of your life. And I would say just be committed. Be committed to yourself, be committed to your coach, be committed to the goals that you and your coach set out. And I think if you come at that approach, I think you're going to be successful, and I think that you're going to find a great return. For something that I would tell somebody if they're evaluating what would be important, is there is an intentionality to what you're facing, meaning that you can't sit and continue to let life move you, or you can then take control and move life, right? In a very healthy, systematic way. That's being intentional, that's being assertive into your own life. Something that comes out and what's resonating with me now as we sit here and talk is the fact that I was turned off to, again, the self-awareness of that. I was not present in understanding everything that was going on, because I was in literally a operation mode, if you will, of being a robot. I felt like that at times I was a robot, and I did not allow myself to stop long enough to process, which unfortunately led to burnout, and ultimately led me to coaching. But making a financial investment in myself, along with someone who's got professional training and has a formal, educated background on what it is to walk people through that process, was super important for me personally. And I think from a comfort level standpoint, I felt confident in partnering with you because of that reason. You've worked with a number of business leaders, and you've worked with a ton of just marriages in general, to help them to help them understand, help them create awareness, to help them be intentional, to be assertive. And I'm super thankful for you and in that time of my life, because it was so pivotal in where I'm at today. So in terms of professional growth, I gained the confidence to be able to step away from my corporate job and environment. That was a very lengthy discussion within my marriage of what that would look like. But it was in a very healthy, again, very structured way that allowed us to successfully process out what that would be. And what it allowed me to do was actually chase a passion of mine to create and start my own company, and to pour back into the things that I'm passionate about. So in a professional sense, I have absolutely taken the next step in my journey of life and fulfilling this entrepreneurial spirit to better serve not only myself and obviously business leaders, and to partner with them to create good work, but to become healthier, again, for myself and for my family and for my marriage. And that's where it's tied in. I'm very thankful that I've got a very strong wife who was able to walk with me through that season, and she was able to be patient enough to allow me to process that out. And what that did was just create a stronger relationship between us, having an understanding and being able to effectively communicate what was going on to her, and to process that out with you as a coach was super pivotal. In relation to my children, it's a night and day difference. Now they're, all things considered, being in a corporate environment and traveling, 50, 60, 70% of the time, not being around for them is a big thing. And quite frankly, it was a really, it was one of the, I would say, the top 3 reasons why I evaluated leaving, to be able to have involvement in their life. Now I could have stayed in corporate America, and continued that track and that positioning, but what I found and what I was resonating with, was that it was far more important for our family dynamic at this season of our life in order for me to take that step. And through that process, my relationship with my kids have, thankfully been repaired. And, they're young enough now that it's not huge and detrimental and that sort of thing. And God willing, it's not going to have lasting effects. But what it has allowed me to do is to recenter myself, calm my anxiety, calm my stress levels down, and just be a better husband and father through that process. So.